I've set over 200 goals in my life. Want to know how many I've actually achieved? Less than 30%. Research shows that most New Year's resolutions fail before February ends. I remember spending months training for a marathon only to quit 3 weeks before race day. The frustration and disappointment haunted me for years. In this video, I'm going to show you why traditional goal setting is designed to make you fail. I'll share the framework I discovered that finally helped me break this cycle. An adaptive approach focused on identity shifts rather than outcomes. Later, we'll explore exactly how this method transforms the way you achieve what matters most. The resolution graveyard. Have you ever wondered why that gym is packed in January but empty by February? It's not just you, it's literally almost everyone. That brand new exercise equipment collecting dust in the corner of your room? Yeah, you've got plenty of company there too. I used to think I was uniquely bad at sticking to my goals, like maybe I just lacked some special willpower gene that successful people were born with. But then I started noticing this pattern that happens year after year. We all get super pumped about our goals, start strong with enthusiasm, and then watch them slowly die. It's a collective ritual we participate in without questioning why we keep falling into the same trap. The cycle repeats with predictable precision. New Year rolls around, and there we are again, writing down the same goals we abandoned last February. This time will be different, we tell ourselves. But the data suggests otherwise. The numbers are actually shocking. Research shows that approximately 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February. 80%. That's the vast majority of us. By March, even fewer people remain on track. By December, the number who actually achieved their January goals is tiny. I got curious about my own track record, so I started documenting it. Over 3 years, I carefully tracked my goals and found that the ones I set using traditional methods like lose 20 pounds by summer or write a book by the end of the year failed 7 times out of 10. That's a 70% failure rate. And I consider myself a pretty disciplined person. If someone who makes YouTube videos about productivity is failing that often, what hope is there for everyone else? When these goals inevitably crash and burn, we blame ourselves instead of questioning if the system is broken. We beat ourselves up with thoughts like, I just need more discipline, or I'm too lazy. But hold on. If the vast majority of people are failing at the exact same thing, in the exact same way, at the exact same time, maybe the problem isn't with the people? Think about it. We've all been taught the same goal-setting formula, but most of us keep failing at it. If a teacher had an 80% failure rate in their classroom, we wouldn't assume all the students were bad at learning. We'd question the teaching method. Research actually backs this up. Studies show that people who set specific and challenging goals are more likely to succeed than those who set easy ones or no goals at all. But there's a catch. The type of goals and how we approach them matters enormously. The traditional set it and forget it approach to goals doesn't align with how our brains actually work. What if the problem isn't your willpower or motivation, but the actual way we've been taught to set goals? What if the conventional wisdom about goal setting is fundamentally flawed? Here's something that blew my mind. Weekly progress reports on goals can increase success rates by 40%. That's the difference between success and failure for a huge number of people. But how many of us are taught to check in on our goals weekly? For most of us, goal setting is a January 1st and December 31st activity with nothing in between. Why do 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February? Because traditional goal-setting methods work against how our brains naturally function. Our brains aren't designed to maintain motivation for distant future rewards with no feedback or adjustment along the way. We're not wired to stick with rigid plans that don't adapt to our changing circumstances. It's like trying to navigate cross-country with a broken GPS that never recalculates when you take a wrong turn or encounter road construction. You'd never reach your destination that way, but that's exactly how most of us approach our goals. I remember setting a goal to run a half marathon. I downloaded a training plan, marked the race date, and started running. 2 weeks in, I got a minor ankle injury. According to my rigid plan, I was now behind schedule. Instead of adjusting, I tried to catch up by running longer distances than I was ready for, which led to more injuries. By month 2, I'd abandoned the goal, convinced I wasn't cut out for running. The problem wasn't my ability or commitment. It was the inflexible approach that made one small setback feel like complete failure. Had I built in a system for regular check-ins and adjustments, that minor ankle issue would have been just a small bump in the road. This pattern repeats across all types of goals. People set ambitious targets without feedback mechanisms, then abandon those goals at the first deviation from their ideal plan. The lack of a system for evaluating progress dooms most resolutions before they ever had a chance. In other areas of life, we understand this principle. No business would set a yearly target and then not check progress until December. No sports team would create a game plan and stick to it regardless of what the opposing team does. Yet with personal goals, we think this approach should work. So let's dig into the first big mistake that's probably sabotaging your goals right now. It's a trap that feels so natural you might not even realize it's a problem. But understanding it could transform your relationship with goal setting and break that frustrating cycle. What if you haven't been failing at your goals? What if your goals have been failing you? The arbitrary deadline trap. Your goals have been failing you because they're built on a foundation of terrible timing. Think about it. Why do we wait for arbitrary dates, like New Year's or next Monday, to start something important? There's something almost magical we've assigned to these random calendar squares, as if the Earth completing another trip around the sun suddenly gives us superpowers of transformation. But your brain doesn't operate on calendar logic. It operates on personal meaning and readiness. I've been thinking about this timing trap lately. We've been trained to believe certain dates have special goal-starting energy. January 1st, Mondays, birthdays, the first of the month, as if these numbers on a calendar make us more capable of change. It's strange when you consider it. The universe remains indifferent to January 1st. Your body and brain don't develop new capabilities because everyone's singing Auld Lang Syne. This calendar-based approach sets us up for failure before we begin. When researchers tracked actual goal progress, they discovered something eye-opening. People who set goals based on personal readiness instead of random calendar dates were 3 times more likely to succeed. That's the difference between probably failing and probably succeeding. These arbitrary deadlines create artificial pressure without personal meaning. Your brain resists this empty pressure. It recognizes the deadline as artificial and doesn't take it seriously. You might declare, "I'll lose 20 pounds by summer," but there's no real connection between your body's natural processes and the changing season. The deadline floats disconnected from real meaning. Social pressure compounds the problem. When everyone posts resolutions online and talks about fresh starts, we feel compelled to join in, ready or not. This external pressure without internal readiness resembles planting seeds in frozen ground while expecting growth because the calendar says it's planting season. Have you ever wondered why some people make lasting changes seemingly out of nowhere? Someone quits smoking or starts a business and it sticks. They rarely attribute it to a calendar date. Instead, they describe reaching a personal tipping point where they were genuinely ready for change. Take my friend Mark, who tried quitting smoking every January for 5 years straight. Each attempt lasted about 2 weeks. Then in the middle of August, with no special date prompting him, he quit for good. The difference? His doctor had shown him concerning test results, and his daughter had just announced her pregnancy. His personal readiness aligned with genuine motivation, not an arbitrary date. What your brain needs is a meaningful why connected to your timeline. The successful goal achievers start when they've built the right personal foundations, when they have genuine readiness, when the timing makes sense for their life circumstances. So what might a more natural timing strategy look like? How can we recognize when we're truly ready versus when we're just following social convention? The disconnect between calendar-based deadlines and your brain's motivation system creates a psychological trap. Your brain has resistance mechanisms that activate when you force change based on external timing rather than internal readiness. It's like trying to force a key into the wrong lock. Pushing harder won't make it fit. Social media intensifies this trap. When everyone posts about January 1st fresh starts, we feel pressure to participate. We set goals without a strong personal why or connection to that timeline. We set goals to fit in rather than to succeed. External validation trumps internal drive, practically guaranteeing failure. I've experienced this myself. Last year, I decided to launch a podcast on January 1st because it seemed like the perfect, fresh start date. I had no plan, no content calendar, no equipment ready, just an arbitrary deadline. I recorded one episode, hated the sound, and abandoned everything by January 10th. The timing wasn't connected to my actual readiness. 6 months later, I started a podcast without focusing on a special date. I'd spent time learning audio basics, planning content, and finding my voice. I was ready. That podcast continues today, not because I picked the right date, but because I started with the right personal foundation. So when is the right time to start a goal? When you're personally ready, when you have a meaningful reason connected to your timeline, not because society designates certain days as magical. Consider your past successes. They likely weren't tied to random calendar dates, but to moments when you felt genuinely ready for change, when your circumstances aligned with your ambitions, when you had the right knowledge, tools, or support. The pressure to align personal growth with arbitrary dates isn't merely ineffective, it actively works against us. The calendar might be your biggest saboteur when it comes to achieving what matters most. Outcome obsession syndrome. While arbitrary deadlines might be your first stumbling block, there's something even more toxic happening once you begin your journey. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through Instagram, bombarded with those perfect before and after transformation photos? You know the ones, where someone magically transforms from out of shape to fitness model, often with a caption suggesting it happened almost overnight. What those posts never show is the messy middle. All those days of struggle, setbacks, and slow progress that actually led to the transformation. I call this phenomenon outcome obsession syndrome, and it might be the biggest reason your goals keep evaporating weeks after you set them. It's that fixation on the end result that makes you hate every step of the actual journey to get there. We're surrounded by messaging that glorifies the destination while completely ignoring the path. Think about how traditional goal setting works. We focus entirely on the outcome: lose 30 pounds, land the promotion, save $10,000, write a book. These targets seem clear and motivating at first, but they create a psychological pressure cooker. When the scale doesn't move after a week of healthy eating, or your boss doesn't immediately notice your extra effort, something inside you starts to whisper, "This isn't working. Why bother?" This outcome obsession explains why so many people abandon their fitness goals after just a few weeks. They work out consistently for 7 days, step on the scale expecting dramatic results, see minimal change, and quit. The problem isn't their effort. It's that they're measuring the wrong thing entirely. Research highlighted in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, found that people who focused on process goals, the daily actions and behaviors, were significantly more likely to maintain progress than those fixated solely on outcome goals. The outcome is mostly outside your control, but the process, that's something you can actually manage day by day. Consider learning piano. If you're outcome obsessed, you picture yourself playing complex Chopin pieces flawlessly within months. With that expectation, how long will you stick with practicing scales and fumbling through Mary Had a Little Lamb? The gap between your current reality and your desired outcome feels massive, making each practice session a reminder of how far you still have to go. But what if you shifted your focus to simply becoming the person who practices piano for 15 minutes each day? Suddenly, you can win every single day just by sitting down at the keyboard. The daily action becomes the goal, not some distant perfect performance. It's like climbing a mountain. Outcome-obsessed climbers stare at the summit, growing increasingly discouraged by how far away it seems. Process-focused climbers celebrate each step upward, each camp established, each challenge overcome along the way. Both may reach the same summit, but they experience entirely different journeys. When you're outcome-obsessed, you miss all the small wins that should fuel your motivation. These moments of progress disappear in the shadow of that big, intimidating end goal. This creates an all-or-nothing thinking pattern. Either you've achieved the perfect outcome, or you've failed completely. Since most meaningful goals take significant time to achieve, you spend most of your journey feeling like a failure, even when making real progress. The pressure this creates is enormous. With weight loss goals, focusing exclusively on lose 30 pounds makes any deviation from perfect eating feel like complete failure. One cookie becomes evidence that you're not cut out for this, rather than just a normal moment in a longer journey. Outcome obsession also affects our planning. We create perfect, linear plans that assume steady progress without setbacks. When reality hits with all its messiness, we feel like we're doing something wrong, rather than experiencing the normal path to achievement. The most successful goal achievers plan for failure and setbacks. They reframe missed workouts or imperfect days as learning opportunities, developing strategies to bounce back because they know these moments are inevitable parts of the journey. The psychological impact goes deeper. Focusing exclusively on outcomes ties our self-worth to achieving specific results. This creates a destructive pattern where we only feel good about ourselves when making visible progress. Since progress is rarely linear, we spend most of our time feeling bad about ourselves, undermining our motivation. Process-focused goals create a completely different experience. When you focus on actions and behaviors, you recognize and celebrate small wins along the way. Cooked a healthy meal? That's a win. Saved $50 this week? Win. Wrote for 15 minutes? Win. This steady stream of victories fuels motivation in a way distant outcome goals never can. It's like having a GPS that celebrates each correct turn versus one that only says you haven't arrived yet. Which would better guide your journey? Shifting from outcome to process, focus doesn't mean abandoning your dreams. It means recognizing that outcomes result from consistent processes maintained over time. Want to lose weight? Focus on becoming someone who exercises regularly and eats mindfully. Want a promotion? Become someone who consistently adds value. The outcomes will follow naturally. This approach aligns with how our brains work. Our brains love immediate rewards and feedback. Process goals give us daily opportunities to succeed and feel good about our progress, rather than making us wait months or years for satisfaction. The fitness goal fallacy. The fitness industry has basically mastered the art of making us feel like failures. Ever notice how those before and after transformation photos never show the person who did 3 perfect workouts, then ghosted the gym for 6 months? That's not an accident. The fitness world thrives on our outcome obsession while hiding a surprising truth about who actually succeeds. I mean, we've all been there. You decide, this is it, you're finally going to get in shape. You buy new workout clothes, sign up for that gym membership, and promise yourself you'll go every single day. Then, life happens. You miss one day because you're exhausted or your kid gets sick, and just like that, the whole plan falls apart. You feel like you've already failed, so why even try to get back on track? The typical fitness goal, lose 20 pounds or get visible abs, seems clear and motivating, but actually sets you up for disappointment. These outcome-based goals focus solely on the destination while ignoring the journey. They specify what to achieve, but say nothing about how to get there. It's exactly like trying to build a house by focusing only on the finished design without laying a proper foundation. Collapse is inevitable. Take Sarah, who I interviewed during my research. For a decade, she cycled through ambitious fitness plans that always ended the same way. Initial excitement, missed workouts, disappointment, and abandonment. Her breakthrough came from an approach that seemed almost ridiculous at first. She started by just putting on her sneakers every morning. That's it. Within 6 months, she was running 3 times weekly and had lost 15 pounds without experiencing the usual motivation burnout cycle. I spent months analyzing over 50 different fitness transformation stories, looking for patterns among people who succeeded long-term. The successful transformations rarely started with ambitious targets or extreme workout plans. Instead, these people began with ridiculously small commitments, putting on workout clothes, doing a single push-up, or walking for 5 minutes. These micro-commitments bypass your brain's resistance mechanisms, eliminating the psychological barrier to starting. This approach connects directly to what behavior scientists call the 2-minute rule. If a habit can be done in 2 minutes or less, you should do it immediately. Once you've started, continuing often feels natural. You put on your workout clothes and think, well, I might as well do 5 minutes since I'm already dressed. Then 5 minutes becomes 15 because you're already moving. But the truly transformative element that separates lasting success from temporary change isn't just about tiny habits, it's about identity shift. The people who maintained their fitness changes for years became different people. Instead of fixating on having a certain body type, they concentrated on becoming a person who exercises regularly, or someone who prioritizes movement. This identity-based approach completely changes how you think about setbacks. If your goal is lose 20 pounds and you gain a pound 1 week, you failed. But if your goal is be a person who exercises, one missed workout doesn't change who you are becoming. When you internalize the identity of being a fit person, the associated actions start to feel natural. You're not forcing yourself. You're simply acting in alignment with who you believe yourself to be. A man who maintained a 50-pound weight loss for over 5 years explained it perfectly. I don't have to decide whether to exercise anymore. That's just what I do on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's part of who I am now. His success wasn't about willpower or motivation. It was about identity. The go big or go home mentality might be the single most destructive fitness advice ever given. It creates an all-or-nothing mindset where anything less than a perfect workout feels worthless. This thinking pattern makes one missed day feel like complete failure, triggering abandonment of the entire goal. A much more effective approach is the consistency-first method. Would you rather work out intensely for 2 weeks, then quit, or exercise gently for 10 minutes 3 times a week for a year? The math is clear. Consistent small action wins every time, but our brains are drawn to the dramatic transformation promise. I tried this myself after years of fitness frustration. Instead of my usual ambitious training plan, I committed to just 5 minutes of movement daily. Some days, those 5 minutes turned into 30, but on my busiest, most exhausted days, I still did my 5 minutes. 6 months later, I was in better shape than I'd ever achieved with my previous approaches that inevitably led to burnout. The most common mistake when setting fitness goals is creating outcome-based targets without establishing the identity and tiny habits that make those outcomes possible. Without addressing who you need to become and the smallest steps to get there, you're essentially building a house on the all-or-nothing trap. Impressive at first glance, one cookie and thought, destined to collapse. Well, I've blown it now, might as well finish the whole box. That black and white thinking isn't just common, it's actually the silent killer of most people's progress. I've started calling it the perfection paradox, and it's fascinating how deeply it affects our ability to stick with goals. Did you know that people with all-or-nothing thinking are 3 times more likely to abandon their goals after a single setback? This rigid mindset creates a mental corner where only 2 options exist: perfect success or complete failure. Traditional goal setting reinforces this pattern, leaving no middle ground. You tell yourself, I'll follow this diet perfectly, or I'll never miss a workout, setting up impossible standards that inevitably crumble. Real progress never happens in a straight line. It's messy, filled with zigzags, good days and frustrating setbacks.